welcome to Unapologetic Melody, a podcast about music with a dash of pop culture. I'm your host, Gina.
I'm your host, Damara.
And if you guys like us, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So for today, I know we like to cover multiple different topics, but for this one, we're gonna be focusing on one topic because this topic is literally breaking the internet right now, and we thought that we cannot just squeeze this into one short 20-minute session. So we're gonna dedicate our whole topic to the big three. Damara, who are the big three?
So, the big three, in no particular order, are J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick Lamar.
And things need to be said because the way this is moving now, like, again, we're even going to have to follow up on this because we are literally getting updates, like, to the minute now. So let's break it down. So Future and Metro Boomin decided release a joint project or a joint album called "We Don't Trust You," which is like a really good album that we're currently going through right now. And so there's a song called "Like That," which has featuring Kendrick Lamar, and Kendrick Lamar decides to basically just break the whole internet because with his feature on that song, he threw some shots. He threw some shots at J. Cole, and he threw a lot of shots at Drake, which everybody just went all crazy, and we just said Drake or J. Cole, you gotta respond. So, starting first is that J. Cole did respond and he released 7 Minute Drill. And so, what are our thoughts on that and the subsequent apology that came after?
I feel like
7 Minute
we've
Drill?
skipped, though. We haven't even talked about Kendrick's diss.
Okay, actually, yeah. Even then, actually, before we actually even go to J. Cole's apology and stuff too, let's actually analyze what K Dot Kendrick Lamar said on what's it called, Like That.
Yeah, so, in fact, surely we should just read it, right?
I was gonna say because like the thing is that like it wasn't like the best, like most hardest diss verse that we've ever heard and stuff. I feel like a lot of us are just excited that for the first time in ages we're actually getting a really good hip hop beef.
Mm,
The thing is, to me, it wasn't like the craziest, like bestest, like diss that we've heard, like ever. Like we've heard harder disses before, even in recent years. It's just the excitement of having something new, and because it was so direct, mainly at Drake, it was really really good because so as Demara's getting the lyrics, things that he said, like big free, it's just big me, making fun of dogs and canines, which is referring to Drake's album that just came out, For All the Dogs. Very, very clear shots at Drake. Talking about First Shooter, which was another diss at what's it called, J. Cole and Drake, because a couple months ago, like 4 or 5 months ago, they released a song called First Person like Shooter. So I was gonna say it was a lot of like digs, but it was mainly aimed at Drake. And Damara, when we were having a private conversation about this, she said really funnily, she felt like J. Cole was just what can I say it?
I want to say it. But we skipped. First of all, the diss, the only thing he said, objectively, by the way, I'm not a stan. In fact, I'm a stan of all of them. So I'm not biased. MF, the big three, F is just big me. So I think that was I feel like he was trying to at Drake. He was trying to get Drake. Unfortunately, J. Cole's collateral damage because he's part of the big three. And then he goes on to talk about something bum for all your dogs getting buried. That must be a sub to For All the Dogs. Still another sub to For All the Dogs. That's a K with all these nines. He gon' see Pet Cemetery. Bum. So that must be a dig at Drake, right? So now J. Cole, because people are talking nonsense on the internet, you have to rebuttal.
I mean, it's rap, so I don't. So like, I understand. It's like, okay, he came at you, even though it's mainly at Drake. It's like, come on, it's hip hop.
He didn't come. It's not really a come at though. I don't even think if I was J. Cole, I wouldn't respond to this. He hasn't come at me. He actually has not come at me. He just said I'm the best. and every rapper says that the best. He came at Drake. He did not come at J. Cole. Just saying the big three is the big me. So he succumbed to whatever nonsense people were saying. Oh, respond. He responded half-heartedly because Kendrick is his friend. He doesn't actually have... I'm acting like I'm there, but this is just what I'm gathering, right? Kendrick and J. Cole, for me, in my opinion, don't have an issue. The internet have made up this issue between them, and he responded half-heartedly because he knows he doesn't have an issue with Kendrick. He knows the issues with Drake, but the internet said respond, so he responded. And then when we listen to the response, half of it, he's praising how great Kendrick is.
That's what I'm saying. It's like when it comes to 7 Minute Drill, it's like it just wasn't a good diss track because like you don't really have anything on K-Dot. Like half the time is that any type of remote disses, you were just praising him afterwards. And I was like, so what was the point of the diss then when you go to praising him and his catalogue afterwards saying, oh, To Pimp a Butterfly wasn't really that good, You fell off like The Simpsons. What are you talking about? The Simpsons are literally a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah, exactly. He's not trying to insult his friend. Like J. Cole, like I said, he's in the big three. He's very competent at atting somebody. He's making an active decision to not. Because it's got nothing to do with him.
But what I'm saying is that for me, it's like, it's actually hip-hop. Hip-hop is a competitive sport. It is rap. It came from the streets of, I'm trying to be the best. I'm trying to flex my muscles. I think for a lot of people who are annoyed at J. Cole, it's the notion of, you've been saying, oh, I'm the Muhammad Ali up in here, and you're bigging yourself up as the best. So people see it as, okay, Kendrick is challenging the idea of the big three. Now, you can argue whether or not it was like mainly at Drake and stuff too, but I think challenging the idea of the big three, Kendrick's calling you to the table.
He's not.
Are you gonna come in and battle?
He didn't. He called Drake.
But then people see it as, okay, J. Cole, you didn't step up to the plate. You backed out when you apologized at Dreamville, and then you've now had the song taken down. So now people are like, you can't put yourself in the big three anymore.
Okay, but let's talk about people. I'm talking about you. Let's not talk about people. Let's talk about your opinion.
Well, I was gonna say for me, to be honest, when it comes to this J. Cole thing, I'm now getting different. Like I'm actually now impartial to it, but I'm just trying to represent like other people who are like, I'm just trying to understand like all points of view when it comes to J. Cole thing. I'm actually now at the point where I'm just like, it is what it is. I now think that J. Cole shouldn't have just said anything in the first place because the diss track to me wasn't even good.
Yeah, because we can talk about how black and white hip-hop is, someone calls you out, but these are actually real people with relationships. We're not on the streets of the Bronx and Harlem anymore, where that runs. These are actually, like, people that have built relationships. They're actually friends. So there's that to consider. Battle rap and hip-hop, all of that has actually gone in the bin, in my opinion, because it's not the same anymore.
It's not like Nas versus Jay-Z with like
days are dead.
Like,
they're long dead and gone. It doesn't work like that anymore. If you call somebody out, first of all, it's mainly because of something personal. Hip-hop beef now, in this day and age, is not about who the better rapper is. It's about an issue you have. And that's what this is about. Kendrick started the introduction to his rap beef with Drake with the Big Three line. But then he took it personal. He took it to somewhere about, I don't know, I can't remember what he said about the dogs, but he basically just at him with the whole dog line so that we know he's talking about Drake. So yeah, just to like double down on what I'm saying, if somebody calls you out and it's not really at you and your friends and you know it's about somebody else, I just don't think that's a reason to, in the name of hip hop, to make a diss track. I don't think he should have made one either, but the internet, with what you were saying, oh, you said you're the Muhammad Ali, blah, 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 like, we know he's the Muhammad Ali. We know he's very competent at rapping. He made an active choice not to light the flame on this because he knows it's not directed at him.
Okay, so let's just have an example. So let's actually use Muhammad Ali as an analogy. So Muhammad Ali based himself up as the GOAT. I felt like a butterfly, sting like a bee. If another player who's actually just the boxers as Muhammad Ali, and then Muhammad Ali backs out, can we then consider him the GOAT? If that's what he's calling himself, and then when he's challenged, he backs out.
That's not how it happened, though. That's not what happened. J. Cole wasn't called to challenge anything.
But the thing is, Kendrick
he said, F the big three, it's big me. That is just saying I'm the best.
And then, so that's just the idea of like, okay, I'm challenging you. So I think, again, I think it's just the nature of hip hop. If somebody's being called to the plate, people want a good rap battle, and they felt like in that moment, J. Cole didn't step up to the plate and he backed out. So for a lot of people now, it's like, okay, J. Cole, calm, sit yourself down. You're still talented. You're still a great MC. You're still a great rapper. But when it comes to considering on the big three, you gotta now sit yourself down and sit yourself out. That's how a lot of people feel.
Yeah, I understand that's how a lot of people feel, but I feel like a lot of people aren't applying context to the situation, which is they're friends. They don't have an issue. He has an issue with his other friend. He's in the middle. Why does he feel the need to keep a flame going that's got nothing to do with him?
I think it's just the idea of like maybe having a connection of like a friendly hip hop battle.
Yeah, and that's why he came back like that. Like that line as well. If we're being real, that line is just one line he actually said that was somewhat directed to J. Cole. One line.
No, I agree.
He didn't even dedicate a whole song. The part he dedicated to hurting someone's feeling was Drake. So, in my opinion, if someone says one line where they said, I'm the best, I'm not going to make a song to then prove that I'm the best. Especially when you're my friend. And I know that your real beef is with the other person. Personally, he didn't, in my opinion, because let's be real, J. Cole says he's the best on every song. Kendrick says he's the best on every song. So then why is it now, in this particular situation, J. Cole must respond and be like, no, I'm the best. I must respond. I must come back. Like, then everyone's going to make a diss track every day. I think you should only respond if someone has come and said your name and at you properly. Just saying I'm the best, in my opinion, doesn't take away from their shine individually. I don't think that's hard enough to get a response, in my opinion. If you just said I'm the best, you're supposed to say I'm the best. Hip hop is so braggadocious. It's when you say you're not good and then you at me, that's when cool, we have beef. If you've just said I'm the best, you're supposed to say you're the best. If you say I'm meaty, no one's going to listen to your music.
So, for you personally, would you still say that J. Cole, for you, is still part of the big three? And
100%. I think that diss, like I said, he just made it so people would leave him alone. He had nothing to do with it.
I just know this is so much worse, though. I really wish he just hadn't put anything out.
We know he's capable. Like, there's so many other disses that he make a song at Lil Pump or something. He eats.
He tried to help Lil Pump as well, actually.
Yeah, because Lil Pump... Let's not even get into Lil Pump. But, yes. I think there's a big two. It's between J. Cole and Kendrick. Depending on how much sleep they had the night before, that decides how good their rap's going to be the next day.
Ooh, wow.
That's what I think. I think the top two is between them all the time. One day, it might be might be J. Cole's better that day. The next day, it's Kendrick. For me, it's them two, and then everyone else can fight for third place.
You know, I just think that J. Cole's really friendly. He's a peacemaker. He's just, to me, J. Cole isn't like cut out for like the hip hop battle to battle raps that we have kind of been ingrained in. You know, the idea of hip hop's like going at it head to head with a battle. I just don't think J. Cole's really made for that. Like, he's really friendly and he likes to be a peacemaker. I just don't think that's his personality.
He has made songs where he's throwing shots at people.
I know he got into beef with like No Name. I mean, it wasn't really much of.
I think all three of these guys aren't your stereotypical battle rapper kind of thing. So I think Kendrick, with his style of music and how it's changed,
his catalog,
I wouldn't think, like he's gonna start a rap beef. With Drake, I wouldn't think he's gonna start a rap beef. People start on him, but usually, you know, I wouldn't think, like it's gonna come from Drake. And J. Cole as well, I would think the same thing. So
I think it's probably also because like Drake's gone into a lot of other previous beefs like Meek Mill, the Pusha T beef, you know, and there's kind of other stuff. So I feel like now people are like, we're gonna call you Drake. to the plate. But yeah, so just to wrap up the J. Cole section, so you still stand by so you definitely stand by J. Cole being the big three, and people should kind of back off with J. Cole.
I think they actually need to apply some thought to the situation here. He gave that response because it's not a real beef. If it was a real beef, we would not have got that. And that's just generally what I believe. We know J. Cole is a GOAT. Like, I feel like there's always more. Is it more to what meets the eye?
There's more to what meets the eye.
Yeah, there's always more to what meets the eye. We shouldn't be so surface about it. And let's be real, what Kendrick said to J. Cole wasn't even that rude.
Yeah, no, I will agree. It was nothing. But you know, but you know what?
7-minute song.
But you know what? It's a male ego pride thing. It's like, damn, you're coming at my pride.
But
as
he
a
didn't.
man.
Though he said, "I'm the best."
And exactly. And other man's like, "I'm better." No. So man's like, "You think you're the best? No, I'm the best up in this thing." That's what like.
And then the response would be, "No, I'm the best." Everybody says they're the best. Everybody beats their chest. Every single rapper, male, female, beats their chest. You cannot take it personal if someone says, "I'm the best." Because if you did, you will have a diss track for every single artist that's out there. It's when they draw you out, that's when I think, cool, you have a problem. You're supposed to say Beyonce says she's the best. Like, does that mean SZA, Summer, Kelly Rowland? Does that mean they're all not amazing?
Yeah, I just think there's different dynamics to in hip hop. But yeah, so we'll just I just think it's different in hip hop. But so after ages of people saying, is Drake gonna respond? What's Drake gonna say?
Mm-hmm.
Drake, are you just gonna let K-Dot diss you like that? So literally, like yesterday, well, I mean, it'll be a different time when this episode comes out, but recently Drake has an unreleased diss track that has leaked online.
Mm-hmm.
And so yes, Drake has finally responded. And I can't lie, I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it as well.
I enjoyed it. And he's just taking shots at everyone.
The one thing I love about Drake is he knows he's the richest. And you can't come for the richest. Even if, cool, you know that you are a better rapper than them, you can out-rap them to the moon and back. And let me not sit here and say Drake can't rap, because he can. He's very, very, very great.
I think it's just in recent years, people have seemed to have forgotten because of
Yes.
the pop rap that Drake can actually, like when Drake wants to, he can spit, but people just
Drake
forget
can
now.
definitely rap. You're not going to enter conversations of being the big three if you can't. Let's be real. So yeah, he's just reminding people, like, can't really come at people that, you don't have more money than. Let's just be real here. Let's just be real. You ain't got more hits than me. You ain't got more Grammys than me.
Like, when you call Metro Boomin like a hoe, I was like, oh my gosh.
I'm
just like, god damn, like Drake was just throwing shots at everyone. He was like, it's 20 against 1. And he was like, oh, and he was just like, drop and give me 50. And I was just like,
yeah, like,
okay.
Obviously, this seems very personal. And like I said earlier, this is no longer about who is a better rapper. And that's what hip hop beef used to be about. It's not about that anymore. It's about, the personal issue that they have. And then when the best way to defend yourself when someone's coming at you is just say you're broke.
The thing is that it is very clear that from what we've been listening to is that these guys, like, there is something behind the scenes going on. Like, I don't know what's going on, to be honest. I feel like from what I read, Drake, I think, has done something to, like, piss off a lot of these guys, and now a lot of them are, like, turning on Drake. I don't even know what happened. Like, why? Like, I feel like not enough people are talking about what happened between Drake and Future.
We'll never know.
Like, why? Like,
we'll never know. I thought everyone is friends. I thought, yeah, they've got great music together. It's such a shame. But haven't they even made a song quite recently?
Yeah, was it the one with Thames that came out not too long ago? So
that wasn't that long ago.
That was like what, 2-3 years ago. What was that song? And they won a Grammy.
I'll wait for you. Let me get it.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, what happened between Drake and Future recently that they're not even messing with each other anymore? Because now Drake is chilling with Lil Yachty, and now he's also chilling with 21 Savage and J. Cole. So it kind of feels like the dynamics have changed. And even when Like That came out, like
It's 22.
Yeah, 2022. So what
That's
happened?
2 years ago.
So what happened between them? And also, what Travis Scott was bumping to Like That. Like a lot of people too. I'm like, it just feels like okay. It now feels like the Avengers. Like lines are being drawn. Like it feels like Captain America: Civil War. Like lines are being drawn, and people are kind of choosing their sides. You got like 21 Savage, Lil Yachty, J Cole all on one side, and then you've got like Future and all of that kind of stuff, and all the people who like dislike Drake as well, like ASAP Rocky and Weeknd, and all on one side.
Yeah, no, it definitely looks
Civil War.
I wouldn't even say a war. I would say it's more of we have an issue with you, and now we are coming together to air out your dirty laundry. That's what it seems, because also as well, no one's going to bat for Drake. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's not a war here. It's very much 20 verse 1, like he said.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Where is 21 Savage? Like, where are like Drake's friends like coming to be like, okay, you know what? Like,
But also
why you not jump on my homie like that?
That's the thing though. Hip hop has changed so much. Money talks so much. If you speak up for your friend, that's affected your bag. Like, gone are the days of the street hood stuff. People have bills to pay, contracts to fulfill. Like, sometimes it might not be a good look to be like, leave Drake alone. Like, maybe you got a song coming out with Metro Boomin. In fact, doesn't 21 and Metro Boomin have a whole album together?
I mean,
they do. So some of their hands are tied. But Drake, you got this. Like, your whole $250 million net worth, you got this. You can brush that off. Like, just,
Do you know, the thing is, because we all know that Drake's petty, I think it's something more about striking like Drake's ego and pride that I think gets to Drake a lot more, because he is petty. So I feel like it's the idea of like, wow, like these guys are turning against me, which I think will probably just jab at Drake a lot more. What is it called? What's also interesting is that also on the album as well, we also did mention this as well, ASAP Rocky and The Weeknd decided to get in a few shots there. So I'll read some of the lyrics. So ASAP Rocky appears on, what's it called, track number 2, called Show of Hands. And so he says, N-word in their feelings over women. What, you hurt or something? I smashed before you birth, son. Flacco hit it first. Still don't trust you. It's always us, never them. Heard you drop your latest S. Funny how it came and went. I don't blame A$AP Rocky for getting his licking. He had to avenge Rihanna because Drake actually did try it on her for All the Dogs. So for All the Dogs, Drake took... The thing is, Drake has been taking shots at Rihanna recently. For All the Dogs, he said, "Oh, I'm anti," which is a pun on Rihanna's last album being called Anti. And then he also said, Sex with You was so average, which is a pun on Rihanna's song, Sex with Me is so amazing. And then there was another thing when he was on tour, when the Work song came on, he was like, I don't perform that song anymore. So then he refused to perform it. So Drake has been taking shots at Rihanna. Like, the Navy actually did drag him for like 2 days and then no one cared afterwards. So I don't blame A$AP Rocky for avenging his baby mama. Basically his wife at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. Is anyone talking about it? No. So, I don't really have much else to say on that one, unfortunately.
I was gonna say,
I understand why. Unfortunately,
A$AP Rocky, you get a pass. You did what you did to avenge a woman.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not what's being talked about.
I was gonna say, even then, The Weeknd, The Weeknd has been consistent in not liking Drake. Like, shout out to The Weeknd for just being consistent, because a lot of these guys, they flip flop, they change allegiances. The Weeknd has consistently not liked Drake. So, what's it called? The Weeknd also has also takes some shots at Drake. He said, they can never diss my brother's baby when they got their leaks in their operation. I thank God that I never signed my life away and we never do the bid talk. They shoot us making TikToks. So that was kind of a dig saying, oh, I never signed my life away. So Drake and The Weeknd's like beef goes back way, way back. Do you want to elaborate? Or should I?
Yeah, I mean, I don't All I know is they worked together in the beginning of kind of both of their careers. Um, Drake made the label OVO and The Weeknd was EXO. But I don't know if EXO was made after he declined being signed to OVO. I don't know about the timings of that, but we just know The Weeknd was asked, or Drake wanted to bring The Weeknd on board to OVO,
And,
and The Weeknd was like, no.
and Drake has had some animosity to The Weeknd's not signing to OVO, which, by the way, that was the best, like, one of the best decisions that The Weeknd made was not signing to OVO. That was a great decision, but Drake still clearly holds some animosity towards him not wanting to sign there. So yeah, so The Weeknd got his lick in a bit too. So again, it just seems like, wow, I'm just gonna gather all
Yeah.
of the people who don't like Drake, put it onto this one album, which just feels like duh, duh, punch, 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 jab, jab at Drake.
No, I agree. It definitely, yeah, this isn't about who's a better rapper anymore. They have an issue with Drake. None of them really want to tell us, which is annoying. Feel free to share, guys, because
Yeah, I was gonna say,
deciphering is getting tiring.
I was gonna say, feel free to also like add comments as well. Like if we're missing anything or any other unintended like stuff that happens to all of these guys, please tell us in the comments below because I know we're probably missing a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
I just feel like, in a weird way, I feel like they're turning Drake into the underdog. Do you know what I'm meaning? Even though he's not the underdog, he's like the most successful, the most commercially successful. This guy has tied with Michael Jackson for like the most #1 hits on Billboard. But I'm like, I just feel like all of them coming at him, I feel like it's gonna make Drake the underdog, and so that way people want to root for him more when he comes out.
Yes, because he's not. It's basically Drake versus the people right now.
But here's the thing though, I'm sure that all of these guys have legitimate reasons to like this, because this thing is like, like men love men, like bros love bros, like they love each other. So that's why I'm like, it's interesting to me how everyone is turning against him.
Yeah, they must have a person. They might love each other, but also he might have done something, or they might have done something to him. They might have an issue. It might be a lot of the times as well. It's like they've both done stuff to each other. Sometimes it might not just be one way.
Because I kept hearing rumors that like, oh, some of the beef was over women, because for some reason like a lot of the stuff in the music industry tends to be over women and stuff. I know there was like one girl that was accused of like, oh, the reason why like Drake and Future fell out was because of a woman, and then I think the woman came out and was like, it's not about me. So I'm
Yeah,
sure.
we don't know.
I was gonna say,
I feel like money.
it must be
I feel like money is
business.
money is a big thing to destroy a relationship over. I don't even think girls, because of how hip hop values women, they don't really. So I can't see, because remember, these guys may have made money together. So for me, unless this was like a wife, and none of these guys have wives, I just don't see guys fumbling the bag over women when they don't even have real serious relationships with these women.
Again, so I have a different perspective. I feel like it's not about the women. Like, for example, like, there's been rumors and stuff that apparently like Drake kind of has this habit of, I'll kind of like get with your girl, or kind of like message your girl, like, because there was like this stuff about when Lil Wayne went to prison back in like, was it 2010? Drake apparently allegedly like was chilling with Lil Wayne's baby mama. So I think it's the idea of that. It's not the idea of like, oh, you're with my woman. It's the ego of like, wow, like like that man actually like slept with my girl, not that I actually care about her, but it's the pride of like, oh, taking something that kind of like belongs to me.
With that respect, a baby mum, that's wild. Is that actually true? Who knows?
The Lil Wayne one I know is true because he was interviewed about it and he was like, yeah, it happened. And
okay, so in that respect, cool. I understand why money, but it didn't. He didn't even fumble their bag though. He didn't even fumble. So that's literally my point. Did he care that much? He didn't drop him from his label. They continued to make millions together. So that's literally proving my point that it's not women. That would have destroyed their relationship.
That's true. But I was gonna say, Damara's right. It
has to be about bread,
business, or maybe it's a combination of all of them: money, business, and just falling out over a girl. Maybe
I don't think it will be falling out over a girl. I think it will be bread, so money, and then doing some defamation of character. But then it all links into making money again. I think it would be more along those vibes. And then also blocking other people's. It's all about money again. Destroying relationships where you can't make money with another person as well. I think that might be what it's to do with, because we're acting like we're there, which is so funny.
This is the thing, is that like we're literally
This is so funny.
No, but the thing is, like, I feel like this is actually the most speculation that we've done so far, because like there's so many like there's so many layers,
parts.
like there's so many layers, like there is something going on behind the scenes.
There is something 100%.
Spilling into the music, so we're trying to dissect what is the stuff behind the scenes. And again, we're gonna get into this because as of now, Rick Ross literally replied to Drake within 2 hours.
And at the end of Rick Ross's diss, he does spill. So we'll get into what he spills. But yeah, I definitely think as well, okay, so defamation of character, money, and then like reputation. But that's kind of defamation of character. And then as well, it's all like your image. Like if losing street credibility.
I was gonna say,
or losing like how, not hypermasculine, how like
I think
respectable you are.
I always say, even though, like, for example, like with the Drake Pusha T beef, like we all know that Drake is still successful in the end, and let's be honest, a lot of people didn't really support Pusha T after that diss. I think that what Pusha T did was that he punked Drake's in like armor. Like, I felt like for so long Drake was seen as invincible, untouchable, but I really think that Pusha T kind of like punctured that armor that we all thought that Drake had, and I was like, wow, like, you're really like not all that when we actually see behind the thing, when he added the stuff about Sophie and the baby mama, and also when Drake also got added another piece about having ghostwriters.
I think the ghostwriter would be more in terms of his image as a musician and a great artist. I think that's more towards like having your image stained, because I'll be so real, I didn't think Drake is an angel. I listen to his music, I watch his music videos, we hear about the women. Like, I've seen the Pop That music video.
I think people, I think, because I think it's because I read comments and stuff. I feel like people at the time was thinking that Drake's too smart. Like, he's more like, he's too smart to have a baby mama. Like, you know, he's more smart. He's more well thought out.
If you listen to his music, you'll know that's exactly the direction he was headed.
But
no disrespect to Drake. I love Drake. And this isn't even to disrespect baby mums as well.
Yeah, we're not.
I just think it is very silly with anyone to think they're above being or above having a baby mum when that is part of the culture that you are selling.
That's true. So I think it's just the idea of like this kind of stuff too. So it's just really interesting. So I think probably get onto the Rick.
Yeah, we can.
So yeah, so literally, so once I've been like, this stuff is moving so quickly that we're gonna have to do a follow up because it's like so much is going on. So literally within 2 hours of the unreleased diss track coming out with Drake, Rick Ross literally comes in, and then he responds within 2 hours to Drake, and there was a lot of stuff like said in there, a lot of really interesting.
I feel like we should just go to the end because the beginning part.
Because
was just
okay. So Damara didn't really like the beginning part.
I didn't say I didn't like it.
It was like
I didn't say I didn't like it. What I said was, if I'm supposed to be offended and this is directed to me, it's gone over my head. Because you can't call me a worker, but I've got 100 million plus more than you. Like that's for that person. That diss is for him over there. That's not for me. So that's what I was taken in, like, when I was reading the diss. Like, it didn't seem like it's directed at Drake until, okay, cool, there's a little ghostwriter sub, cool, we all know that, so, meh.
I think it was, I will go tomorrow. It was the end where I was like...
the end.
I was like,
end.
At the end. I was like, okay,
that's
end. When... So, like, the allegations of Drake having a nose job, I was like, okay.
Okay, do you want to read it? Does anyone want to read it?
I was going to say you should read it.
So I'm just going to read it quite poetically because I don't even remember the flow of it. Maybach music. You ain't never want to be... it's got so much profanity. I'll just say N. Okay. Maybach music. You ain't never want to be an N anyway, N. That's why you had an operation to make your nose smaller than your father knows, N. I unfollowed you, N, because you sent the MF cease and desist to French Montana, N. You sent the police, N, hating on my dog project. That wasn't the same boy that I seen, N, when we were making them early records, N. When you were happy to be around N's, seeing N's holding them sticks, yeah. You owe MF Stunner your life, N. Give Weezy some more money, N. Give Rap a lot some more money, N. W boy. Yeah. Biggest it's Rose, N. We can do it how you want to do it, where you want to do it, anytime you want to do it. I'm ready. Ooh, I'm ready, W boy, huh? I know you got your dockers on with no underwear, W boy. Yeah, you had that surgery, that six-pack gone. That's why you're wearing that funny S at your show. You can't hide it, N, W boy. I wish I didn't have to like PG it up.
I was gonna say, guys, you can play YouTube. We just don't want to get demonetized.
Yeah.
But it's just like, so I was gonna say, so the thing is, like, Rick Ross really went in there. I was gonna say, I don't think the line about French Montana was probably mentioned, but we do have to mention.
It was.
Oh, was it? Okay, then let me start. So that part about, okay, so the reason, because thing is, people were talking about after Like That came out, Rick Ross like unfollowed Drake. And so people were wondering what's the beef between Rick Ross and Drake.
Mm-hmm.
And so this clarifies that the reason why Rick Ross unfollowed Drake was apparently Drake did something to French Montana and sent a cease and desist to him.
Yeah.
So, what?
So that's the thing. There's a lot. And why would you send someone a cease and desist?
We don't know. This is
but
the thing.
It must link to a bag being fumbled or going to prison or something like that, or your image being ruined. Like, you don't hush someone up for no reason. Like, why else would you send someone a cease and desist? So, yeah, there's a lot there that we don't know about.
And the thing is, I mean, I like the diss tracks. My favorite part was when he sampled Drake's voice and was like, "Shout out to Rick Ross, you know, one of my face." I thought that was hilarious.
That part is just before when he just goes on a rant and at Drake. It's actually, that part isn't even like with the beat.
Yeah, but honestly, that to me was like the really, really funny part. So it's just like, that was hilarious. That was just hilarious just listening to that. It was just really interesting. I thought Rick Ross slid. I can't lie. I enjoyed it.
Okay, tell me something from the actual song that he ate.
The end. And the funny, again, for me, the end ate, and I thought it was really funny.
The end is not the whole song. The end is first of all a cappella. He's just talking. He's not even rapping.
Well, do you know, I think to me it's because I was saying this tomorrow. I really loved the beat.
But the part you love, the beat's not in the background.
And I was gonna say, listen.
So you like his rant at the end, which has got nothing to do with the rest of the song, by the way.
Look, listen. The thing is, at this point, I'll be honest. I know it's not consistent. The way I'm judging this beef is that because again, Demar's right. This is a personal beef at this point. This isn't about the bars. This isn't about the lyricism. This isn't about who's better. They're having personal issues that's playing into the music. So at this point, I'm just here to hear the tea.
Yeah. So you like the end.
I was gonna say this beef. I'm enjoying hearing the tea.
Yeah. So the end.
Is that So the end.
Not
for me,
the other 3 minutes where he says Drake is a worker.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I can rest now.
I was gonna say that part's only hitting for me. So I was gonna say
okay,
I
can rest
because this is literally just personal issues into the music. It's not the 90s where it's like, oh, we're flexing to see who's got the bars, the limits, the similes, the metaphors. No one cares about that with this beef. Can we be honest with ourselves?
Okay, I've got another question then. So, what makes the big three the big three?
What makes the big three is for me influence. What's it called? Well, the music that they've released and the catalogs, and well, for me personally, also like the accolades that they've accumulated. You?
Wait, so you said influence, accolades. What was the other thing?
And like the music, the catalog.
The catalog. Yeah, I agree. I will. Okay, with catalogue, because you could argue so many people have an amazing catalogue because it's subjective. So I'm gonna throw in like sales / like how much they get streamed and stuff like that. Because
Okay.
there are artists like, say, Big Sean. Give me some more. So Big Sean. I'm just gonna say artists
Sean,
now.
we can also say Future because a lot of people
Future,
do.
so Big Sean,
a lot of people argue that
Future.
Future. Why is he not in?
Yeah.
Why is he not considered like the main thing?
So Big Sean, Future, Gunna. You got like the new wave of artists, Don Toliver.
No, well, no, I'm not gonna say Lil Uzi.
Some people love him though. But yeah, what we're trying to say is I feel like having an amazing catalogue actually, because there's a lot of talent out there, actually isn't enough anymore. I feel like sales just separates now the sharks from like the smaller fish.
Mm-hmm.
But I do actually think Future is a shark.
He is.
It's just, unfortunately, if we're being so critical and technical and annoying, it just falls to Drake. In my opinion, Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick.
So I was gonna say, so now that Drake, I mean, the thing is, even though it's an unreleased diss track, but either way, everyone's talking about it. We need to see that if K-Dot is gonna respond with anything.
Yes, what I actually would want is not just a few lines.
I can
let's
see
have an actual song now where you're actually talking your stuff at Drake. It's not a feature verse, because remember, on the feature verse as well, the whole verse isn't even about the issues with Drake or whatever. It's towards the end of that verse, that's where he gives us a little taste of it. It's just a taste. So I would want, yes, like a good 2 minutes, 3 minutes of you just, I don't want to say dragging, but if you are gonna diss someone, I need more than just a quick 8-bar. I need more. It's like 20 to 30 seconds. Is it even 30 seconds? 10 to 15 seconds of him saying like a few things about Drake. Yeah.
All right, so I was gonna say, as far as I know, this isn't over, guys. This is just the beginning. So we will definitely be coming back to this because
100%.
Because let me say something. The fact that literally, like, again, we're saying this like as it's filming, but then by the time it airs, it's a different time. Literally, Rick Ross just dropped, Drake just dropped, but I know by the time this comes out, it's probably gonna be just so many other moving parts and pieces. So Drake has been called. He stepped up to the plate
because he was.
Cool, yeah.
Rightfully so. It wasn't just but
also,
I'm the best. No.
But also, remember, the internet has been clowning him. Like, when something, there was a viral video of somebody coming to Drake saying Kendrick's better, right to Drake's face. And I was like,
that
Drake,
person is bright.
Bro, do you know how mad it is to be like, hey Drake, oh yeah,
that
Kendrick's
person
better.
needs prayer, because if they got clocked in the face, then all of a sudden it's
Well, he can sue.
Yeah, that's what it would turn into. But in this day and life, in the real world, you wouldn't just go up to a random person and be like, bloody, bloody, blood, to personally provoke them.
I was gonna say, the thing is, I just know that thing is, it's that stuff that punches Drake in his chest, and that's what I was like, I knew that. I was just hoping that, okay, because now it's punching Drake, everyone's literally just like, come on, Drake, say something.
That's not a real
respond.
No, I feel like the internet one is more realistic. That person that actually went up to Drake actually is insane. Personally, you're not a real normal person is not actually doing that. Internet stuff, that's become a norm now. But being so bright to actually go up to him, I think that person did that for like clout. That is such a clouty thing to do. I don't even think that was about hurting Drake's feelings personally. But yeah, 100% the internet, because Kendrick actually said things directed to Drake. That's why people are like, come on, say something. It wasn't a sub. It wasn't a beating of a personal chest. He actually at Drake. So he's responded, but who knows? Kendrick might respond, and also Drake might even respond again to Rick Ross.
I think for a lot of people, I'll probably summarize final thoughts. I think for a lot of people felt like hip hop was kind of dry for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like hip hop was kind of dry, to be honest. And I think the excitement about this is that, okay, we're actually getting the diss tracks. We're getting a semblance of kind of like that old hip hop, that old beef that we kind of missed. So I think there's just a lot of excitement in for the summer. It's gonna be a nice, just good verses, and let's just hear the stuff too. Even though this is just clearly personal, it's not even like
It's not how rap beef is
I think we just need to let that go, to be honest.
Yeah, I do think rap beefs now have changed to the times that we're in now. And I also won't be surprised if we don't get a response, personally.
I think what we have is interesting enough so far, like, to talk about. But
Yeah.
I just don't think this is gonna. For me, I'm just theorizing again. I could be wrong, but I just don't think this is over yet.
I don't think it's over for the people that don't like Drake. I think, they can make songs addressing him from dusk till dawn, but I don't know if Drake will respond. And he's part of the big three, so that low-key can be enough of his, like, shield to be like, you're below me, like, leave me alone. Leave me alone, person. You're not even on my level.
I think we're in for just an interesting time in hip hop. I think this is probably the most juice and more excitement that we've felt in a long time. So we'll see how this goes so far. But for me, final thing I'll say, it ain't over.
It ain't over till it's over.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Unapologetic Melody. If you like us, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. I've been your host, Gina.
I've been your host, Tamara.
And bye.